Good evening, everyone. My name is Demelia, and I'm a member of Chicago Abortion Fund's My Voice, My Choice Leadership Group, and I have had an abortion. We've been doing this show monthly on a regular basis for quite some time now. Just recently, we switched up the format. Typically, we do a show once a month at the end of the month on various topics and issues concerning and surrounding reproductive health. But until last month, we now do an hour-long show. It's in kind of the View format. It's like a talk show format where all of the leadership group women are on the stage and we discuss different issues concerning reproductive health. In addition to that, we will continue this half hour long show once a month with just updates on what's been going on with Chicago Abortion Fund and the leadership group. So tonight's show will be doing just that. It'll give you an update on what we have been doing as a leadership group and as an organization. I want to start off by just giving a brief overview of what exactly our fund does. This particular fund, Chicago Abortion Fund, we assist women who needs a termination in their second trimester. So to qualify for our funding, you have to be at least 13 weeks or more pregnant, and we don't assist with the entire procedure. We assist with the gap, or the difference between what the initial cost was and what you have, and we can assist you with that difference. So with that being said, our fiscal year runs from July 1st of one year until June 30th of the next year. So I have a report printed out of the women that we've served and the demographics from July 1st of 2010 until the present day. So as of July 1st, Chicago Abortion Fund has funded 65 women. The average grant has been $282.49. On average, we give about $300 to the women who call, who needs our assistance, but depending on the case and how much they have and how much the initial cost was, the price varies. Of those 65 women, about 3% were Caucasian, about 83% were African American, and about 5% were other Hispanic. I'm sorry, about 8% were other Hispanic. 3% being other and 5 being Hispanic. The average number of weeks that the women have called have been about between 18 and 19 weeks pregnant. Of those 65, about 12 have been under 18 years old. Of that same number, about 1% have been under 15 years old, which really should be 15 years old. Of those same 65 women, about 12% have been rape cases, and about 2% have been incest cases. Just under 42% have been homeless. 69% of those 65 women that we funded this year alone have had children. I read those demographics on the rape and the incest particularly because there's this misconception that women who have abortions are just these women who have decided to have unprotected sex and they have this unplanned pregnancy and then they just want to end it, which may be true in some cases. Is that's their prerogative, and you choose whether you want to have an abortion or not. But at the same time, a lot of our cases are domestic cases, rape cases, and incest cases. And I think a lot of people, when it comes to the abortion debate, they forget about those aspects of these unplanned pregnancies. It's an unplanned pregnancy, point blank, period. Whether it's by you didn't use protection, or your birth control failed, or it was raped, incest, or a domestic case, it's still an unplanned pregnancy, and that woman chose to have an abortion. So I said that to say a lot of the people who are against abortion, they don't take that into consideration. Those women who have been raped or have been victim of domestic violence, and they need to end their pregnancy. I wanted to mention a couple particular cases that we've seen that really stuck out to me. One being that 1 week alone, we saw 3 15-year-olds call our line. 2 called by themselves and one parent called for them. 2 of those 3 cases were rape cases. One was by a family member or a friend or something. And that really touched me because the one who wasn't raped, it was because of birth control failure. The 2 rape cases were really sad, and it kind of really speaks for itself why they needed to have their procedure done. But the case with the failed birth control, for that to happen to her at 15, and that's the same across the board, whether the women we serve are 18, 22, or 35. Majority of our cases that call, if they're not raped or failure on the condom, is failure of birth control, which is a big issue in itself, because why are our numbers for failed birth control so high? My thought on that, I'm not certified or anything to say this, but this is just my personal opinion, and I think it's lack of education. So many of our young people, and primarily people of color, are getting a lack of education when it comes to reproductive health. So many of them are not being explained exactly how their birth control works and how they're supposed to properly use it for it to work effectively. I would say close to 70% of the women that we do fund, it was due to birth control failure. I had one particular case where a woman was 22 years old and she had 5 children. And she said the reason that she had those children was because, that many children, was because of failed birth control. She tried different forms of birth control, and due to whether it was an allergic reaction or just her not wanting to take it, she wound up having 5 children. Okay, I want to flash over our overhead. Again, with the Chicago Abortion Fund, our phone number is 312-663-0336.